A sunshiny day. It literally is. Rolling away. The rain clouds are rolling away. Not so much for James Comey right now. He's in the middle of a hearing, and he's on the spot about all that he's testifying about, all the different things have been said. But I was there. I heard enough of it. It'll be over at 1 p.m.
Yes.
They're going to keep it, to a certain time. But I did hear enough to realize that I was right once again, ladies and gentlemen.
And you're right about what?
He said there is no ties to Trump and Russia. There has been no evidence for any collusion. There has been no evidence of anything but the fact that Russia they are investigating Russia trying to affect the election. They did do something, and they are currently, they've been investigating them for quite a long time.
You're saying he said exactly the opposite of what he wrote to Congress yesterday.
He did not write that to Congress. I saw what he wrote to Congress. He just said that no, Trump did not have anything to do with Russia.
No.
They were not, yeah.
It's not really what the gist of it was.
Well, you may be watching the liberal news, but
no,
I'm
it's
watching
not news.
the real stuff.
It's what he says.
The real. No, I heard him say it. He said that there has been no ties between them. They have no evidence of any such thing, and that specifically the New York Times. He says when we hear stuff as bogus as what the New York Times said, it's a catch-22. We can't, because it's secret stuff. We can't correct them publicly, and they can't be called out on the carpet. So he says that unfortunately, people have to listen to it and figure out what they believe. But there was everything that the New York Times reported, because they were the first ones, was false.
So he didn't tell Sessions not to leave me alone with him in a room?
He said, I would hope that you... Yeah, but what does that got to do with Russia? That's not... He anyway, all I know is he had no ties with Russia. The thing that he did say to him that's a little fishy is that I hope you'll take care of all this other stuff. Talking about Flynn. Yeah, talking about Flynn. I hope you take care of this. But the prosecutors said, when you say I hope something, is that necessarily a directive? He said, not necessarily, but as the president telling me this, I figured it was a directive, which I ignored. He ignored anyway. So nothing illegal happened, although Trump insinuated, I hope you make something go away, which is kind of fishy. But I am so happy that finally I was vindicated that the New York Times was telling garbage. So
okay.
Well, he testified under oath. That's all
That's
I know.
not what
I don't know
he
what
said,
you're talking
though.
about, because I saw the letter, or I saw the stuff he wrote ahead of time.
Well, you might have heard what Sean Hannity said about that
No,
letter.
I don't like Sean Hannity. I didn't listen to Hannity. No, they read it on NBC. They read the news that they said this is what he's going to do. No, actually, I think it was Tucker Carlson. But
the
still,
whole thing was Comey was scared because he was getting felt like he was getting coerced to.
Right, but I'm talking about the Russia.
Right. Well, Flynn is in trouble because he had.
They also
meetings with
clarified
Russia.
that today too.
Okay.
That he was in trouble for things not having to with that, but also with other things. So it had nothing to do with anything that Trump had nothing to do with the Flynn thing. Flynn was already under investigation. So they, yeah. What you should watch. Go watch.
I
back.
watch everything.
No,
Kevin.
watch what Comey, the testimony.
I haven't
Did you watch
seen
it
it
today?
yet, but I heard.
I know you.
But I read
you just
what he,
woke up, so you did not see
right?
the testimony.
But I read what his prepared statement of what he said yesterday.
I know,
The way you're
I-
characterizing it is not what he said.
Russia. I'm talking about Russia. He did say because they read it on the news yesterday. He's probably not going to accuse Trump of any wrongdoing when it came to Russia, because he said there's no evidence. That is in that thing. And then, of course, when I turned it on, I'm waiting to hear maybe Comey's going to backtrack. Maybe Comey's going to say, but he didn't. And it matched the letter you're talking about, as far as I know. I heard both with my own ears, and then I saw him say today. It doesn't matter. What he said today under oath is what really matters.
What do you mean there's nothing to do with Russia? That's the whole story.
Not with Trump. Trump had nothing to do with Russia. He said
it's
there's
just
no
everybody
evidence.
around him.
Nope. And he said there's none of his employees, none of his cabinet,
Oh,
none of
so
his staff.
Sessions, Flynn, all these guys had unauthorized meetings.
With
Kushner,
the election, with Russia and the election, they did not taint the election in any way, shape, or form. They did not. There was no collusion. That's the word they're using, which I don't really know
According
what it
to
means.
who?
Comey. They asked him point blank that question, and he well, why are you
Okay.
doubting me? I'm telling you, I just heard it.
That's just not what's going on, but it's cool.
What?
It's just, yeah.
That's exactly what he said.
Every senator, Republican
Definite.
senators are all mad about this, but in some world, there's a world where nothing's going on, apparently.
No, there are things going on. There's investigations, but as far as what Comey knows, there was no collusion. Trump did not fix the elections or
No
have
one's saying
any
that.
fixing with Russia. Oh yeah. That's what the New York Times said.
No,
there is a
not
tie
really.
between Trump and the Russians. Yes,
There's
But
100 ties.
They have found no, but nothing illegal. They have no ties.
Obstruction of justice is illegal, Kevin.
There's been no obstruction of justice. They've went through everything. You need to get up early and watch.
This is
the
just
stuff,
the
so
beginning, brother.
I watched it. Oh, I think it's over for as far as Trump. It should be. It should be. So that's going on right now, even as we speak, because we're live here on the wonderful day of. Is today the 7th or the 8th?
I don't know.
I thought it was the 8th, and I have written down the 7th on the paper. I didn't change it, so today is the 8th. Yay! Who are we talking about today? It's number 20, but don't
Yeah.
say it. If you can tell us who the 20th president, we will send you a. We're on 20, right?
Yes.
Number 20. Let me give you a clue. He was shot, right? This is the
Yes.
guy- yes. He was assassinated. He was under this Van Buren curse because he was elected on a 1880 deal and served in 1881 actually. So he was shot in the back. Okay, this is our 20th president. I like him. I've seen the gun.
Whoa.
I was like this close to the gun that shot him in the back.
There were
and
actually three presidents who served in office in the Oval Office in the year 1881.
what?
Yeah.
A teaser. Dun 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 dun. But the first person to tell me, are there people out there? Do we know?
Something
He's
happened
checking.
with my little thing here.
I want to
can't see
make
my
sure.
comments anymore.
I want to make sure Phyllis is on there when we start there from Arizona. Our faithful watcher, Miss Phyllis, it's from our fave of the month, Phyllis. I can tell some more current events here until we can see. We are on. He's not.
We're
getting it.
on. I just can't. My comments aren't coming up anymore.
No comments.
Which they were a second ago. I'm not sure what happened.
Well, the first one we see that says the 20th, who the 20th president is, we're going to send them a gift. We're going to send them something. We're going to send them some music of some sort. Here we go. I'm going to send you. I had another Dino. Everybody loves Dino, right? And Dino's coming on the show someday before Jesus comes back.
Oh, wait, we got.
Are you on there now?
Yeah. Patty says hi.
Patty, hi. There's Montana. How's the weather in Montana? All right. How is it? Okay. Who said it? Somebody picked the president yet?
Well, my mom, but
You're gonna
she probably
get-
looked it up.
Dino's. Yeah, no looking up. You got to go from.
Which, by the way, we got to bring.
Sacred
I got to take
piano.
mom this sacred thing that we promised her yesterday.
Okay. Yes. There's some gel. She did get the gel. Ask her if she looked it up. We
She
can't say
looked
who
it up.
it is
She doesn't
yet.
know who.
Well, we haven't said it yet. We haven't said the name. There's somebody else just said in. You're going to get Dino's Sacred Piano Hymns Collection. He plays Blessed Assurance and Softly and Tenderly Have Thine Own Way, Lord. What a friend we have in Jesus. Fairest Lord Jesus. Anybody else? I Need Thee Every Hour. Did she confess yet? Did she look it up?
Well, she said, Garafilkid.
You don't
Oh,
say the name.
Sorry.
She didn't spell it right, but did she look it up? Because she
Probably.
can have Dino's Sacred Piano Hymns Collection, but it can go out to somebody else. We can see who else. Kevin, hello from Arizona. Somebody else from Arizona. Who's
Yeah.
this? Andrea.
Andrea.
Hi, Andrea. From where in Arizona are you from? And how's the weather out there? Tell us.
Patty says it's sunny.
Sunny in Montana. Helena, Montana. Well, Andrea? Yes. Andrea, what town are you from? Phyllis is from Fort Mojave. Wouldn't it be cool if they were like neighbors or something?
Right.
They live right next to each other and then they found out. That'd be
Not
fun.
so cool because.
Do we know the 20th president yet? We've got Dino's Sacred Piano on the line going to you for free.
I was gonna say it's not so cool though, Kev, because she said it was 111 degrees yesterday.
111, not cool at all. Wow. Speaking of some non-cool things, I have always enjoyed, I grew up in Orlando,
Yes.
where there's a SeaWorld that was just down
Oh.
the road from where I live. And SeaWorld is in Florida, Texas, and California. The one in California is in San Diego. But they closed down last year. They closed down their killer whale show because of the Greenpeace people say this is cruelty to the killer whales. To me, when animals are in captivity, most of the time, now I'm sure there are those that mistreat, and that's very wrong. Most of the time, they're treated better. They have a better chance at living longer, and being in a zoo or in a theme park than they are out in the wild. I mean, fine, they're out in the wild. I'm not saying they should all be held captive, but I'm just saying when they're held captive, it's like we were in New Orleans and somebody was yelling. Well, he was drunk, but he was, we were riding down the French Quarter in a horse and buggy, and you're mistreating those horses. We're like, these horses are getting treated better than just a horse running in the wild. Anyway, I'm all for making sure they're treated right, but now in the San Diego SeaWorld has a conservation-themed show. And so there's no longer the shows with the killer whales jumping through the hoops and doing those fun things. But Texas and Florida still have them. So California is the only one that changed it. Of course, you guys on the left coast, of course. They've done away with the killer whale show in San Diego, which is the best, the coolest show.
I never seen it.
Oh, bro, you would just, because it just makes you just appreciate the animal. Yeah. It makes you thank God for the things that he created, which, by the way, according to Genesis, was created for our pleasure to begin with, and that we were to take dominion over all the animals, the birds of the air, and the field and the sea. Anyway, and so, but not to mistreat them any more than he gave us a spouse, which, by the way, it's just 3 days away from my 12th anniversary.
Wow.
Happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary to me and Cindy.
To me and Cindy.
Cindy, that's right, exactly. And so he gave me a wife, but he didn't want me to abuse her just because she's to be submitted to me. Right, so I take care of her. And so we're to take care of our world. And I don't know that that's not taking care of killer whales. Do you have a different opinion?
I like zoos.
Yeah,
I just
especially
intellectually,
the Promised Land Zoo.
I don't know if I can
Don't
rationalize
let your intellectual
rationalize
get
it.
in front of your.
I don't know if I can
common sense.
rationalize putting birds in cages, and I don't know. As I've gotten older, I've become less and less okay with it.
I don't know that they're being mistreated though.
A bird in a cage. Birds can fly. That's beautiful. Why would you put a bird in a cage?
Well,
that seems evil to me.
You let them out to exercise them, and then you put them back.
I don't know. To me, enjoy animals by looking at pictures of them or going on a safari or something. I don't know.
You mean a safari where you kill the animals? And
No, not that.
Bring their head home?
Not that. Although they do end up, the villagers end up killing, like, I'm way against, like, lion hunting and all that kind of stuff just because I think there's certain animals.
But they do have to keep the population
They have to
down.
kill them now because they're not hunting as much anymore. But
yeah. Same with
know.
in Florida. There's a Florida panther. And because of that, and the alligators, they had a, whatever the word is, it was illegal to kill or to hunt or whatever. And now they're like, please come and get these animals. They're overtaking, they're hurting us all. But did anybody ever get the 20th president besides Mama?
No.
No, Mama can have the CD. But
Okay.
Did she even admit? Did she look it up?
No, she didn't say nothing.
Connie, did you Google it?
Goo.
Come on, sis. Anyway, okay, well, we'll tell the 20th president until the historical moment. We'll just go on. BMW, I didn't know, is now making an extra profit. They have now selling 200,000 motorcycles around the world. So now the Beamer motorcycle, good for them.
My stepbrother, can I tell you a funny story?
Yeah.
My stepbrother growing up wanted a BMW motorcycle. That was his dream. And so my dad said that it's not even his son either, told him that if he got, because he didn't do great in school, that if he got like an average of like a B+ average in the end of high school, he would get a BMW. I'm like, I've had that my whole life. No, you don't count. You're
already the smart kid.
What? That didn't make no sense to me.
No sense. He never got it though, did he?
No, he never got it. He didn't even get the B+.
And this is probably why your dad
Maybe so.
because he knew it was never going to happen.
Maybe so.
But he was trying to get him motivated to do something. Yes. More people today are buying dog food that resembles their own food than ever before. It used to be the old kibbles and bits, but now there's a big giant wave of people buying, and the sales have gone up. I've seen it. They'll buy the fresh like fruit-looking, vegetable-looking food. There's food that's fresh. They have little freezers or little refrigerators in the pet stores now with tubes of fresh food to give to your dog. It used to be in a can or a bag. They're meats. They're like veggie tubes of some sort. I mean, it's just in fruit stuff, and fruit that they can't eat because not all dogs can eat that kind of stuff. But they want it to resemble now more like human food. So
what's the purpose of that? Just to
it's making people happy. Their pets, their doggies can eat just like them.
This dumb cat that Mom's got in the back of our yard is a snob. And so I didn't have
all cats are. I did not like cats for a long time.
She had this, I'm supposed to feed it apparently when I didn't have no money. She's in Florida, and so I went and got the cheapest Sam's Club, Sam's Choice type of cat food, and it just stared there, looked at it,
Wouldn't even eat it.
Wouldn't even eat it. But eventually it ate it.
They are finicky
because
But cats mostly do have attitudes. They're very But my cat thinks he's a dog, so it's fine.
Yes.
He plays with them. He acts like them. He has some cat ways.
Oh, I'm not friendly to it, according to Mom, apparently.
See.
Oh, well, it's given me allergies for 6 months, so I think I should be real friendly to it, this creature.
Oh, she mentions the cat, but she won't confess that she Googled.
She said she did.
20th. Oh, she did? It's okay. It's all right. Maybe she didn't know that was the rule. You have to just
okay.
off the top of your
Mom's
head.
our co-host. She's our
she
statistician.
Does she want us to mention any kind of restaurant today besides Billy Bob's?
Billy Bob's.
Billy Bob's. And we do have a new Dunkin' Donuts / Baskin Robbins.
Yes.
It's great for your health.
And I've been there a couple times after they acted weird to me.
See,
and
I haven't been.
They didn't act weird to me the second or third time.
They didn't?
So.
Okay, that's good. So now they're fine. I get nervous talking about it. But I was going to talk about some people, and I have a relative that actually lets the dog sit at the table as he spoon feeds them with silverware.
Is this your uncle?
Not even plastic. Did you know?
I've met him a couple times. I could tell.
He doesn't know how to run a computer, so he's not watching. But but he feeds. He puts food. He puts the food in a bowl. Takes the spoon and here, puppy. And they have a place at the seat at the table. It's really kind of disgusting. And then he has to give them dessert afterwards. I guess there's doggy ice cream cups now. You can, and then there's another thing. I can pull up to, I think it's Freddy's or Andy's, and they say, "Would you like a?" The first time it happened, I was like, "A what?" They said, "Would you like a puppy cone?" I go, "A what?" "A puppy cone." I'm like, "What are you saying?" Because she saw Rocky right next to me, or Uno, one of them, and they said they actually put a little bit of ice cream, or for these restaurants, it's frozen custard, on a little cone or a little cup, and you can give ice cream to your dogs.
Interesting. Now
we have gone to the dogs, but I love them.
You said that until your mom got her dog, she never liked him.
Couldn't stand him.
But your brother always, or her brother always has. Basically, he always
no. He had a bird in a cage before that. He had a little parakeet who swore that the parakeet said words that never did. But little what do you call his parakeet? I don't know, but I can't remember. But parakeet eventually, and he got a Pomeranian. Oh, I couldn't wait till that thing died. It was, it was such a yipper.
Oh, the yippers.
Phone would ring, doorbell ring, some noise on the TV. It just all the time. And he fed it, of course, so much ice cream that it became like a tick. It would just giant, and it was just miserable. Then its legs gave out, so it couldn't walk. It was so fat, and that's where I was heading till CLA.
CLA.
But
Grandmother did that to her last dog, not this one, but the last one.
I know they think they're helping them in some way. This is a whole conversation I don't know why we're getting into, but my mom. No, they were dirty animals you could never have, because she always kept the house so clean. When people would walk in their shoes, she'd fall behind, or a vacuum cleaner behind you, and so she was kind of almost obsessed. But then she took care of my dog Rocky, my Shih Tzu.
Uh,
And she actually just fell in love. I think a lot of it was after I got married, I was the last one to leave the house. And she's alone in the house. She wanted some companionship and didn't know how to receive it. Well, she fell in love with our dog. Matter of fact, she didn't want to give our dog back to us.
Yeah.
She renamed it and everything. Rocky became Fluffy. Fluffy. Because he's fluffy. I said, but he's a male dog. You don't call a male dog Fluffy. He's my Fluffy. And so anytime we needed to babysit, she would take care of him.
Yeah.
And sometimes, well, his ears were dirty, so I'm not giving it back to you because you abuse it. No, stop.
His
His
ears
ears
were
are
dirty.
fine. Yeah. She just would find reasons. And when I look back, you know what? I wish I'd have let her just keep the dog because we ended up with 2 more anyway. But anyway, you know, that's just stuff you think of after somebody's gone, you know. But she did. And then for Mother's Day, what we did, we got her another Shih Tzu. And she called him Fluffy. So then we were confused who the Fluffies were. But because both of them would answer now. So she takes the Fluffy and takes the dog. And she didn't care about the house, but it didn't matter. They were just in love. And then one by one, she took other people's dogs. My brother Steve's dog,
Yeah.
she took, Coco.
Yeah.
And then my brother Mark's dog, Ellie, the
Ellie.
little Yorkie. So she had, 3 dogs at one
Wow.
time. The first dog we gave her, the Fluffy number 2, passed away. You couldn't even mention his name. She would start tearing up. I mean, she became the dog whisperer.
Right.
And it was just crazy, but because that's not the way we grew up. But
Don't ever let me become like that.
yes, no. We want to. Also, everybody's urging people to do this, and I think this is so necessary for all generations, millennials to baby boomers to Generation Xers, that people are not taking enough time, the study shows, for reflection, meditation, or silence. Of course, Christians are supposed to pray, but the Gallup poll and Barna poll I've seen says only 1 out of 10 pray or read their Bible 10 minutes every day, and that's from Born Again Christians survey. So we're not doing that either, but we need to pray. They're advising you take walks. They're advising you to turn the radio off in your car. Just have silence where you can just get away from the madness. And of course, at least 30 minutes every day without your cell phone. I know that would make people, your generation, go crazy, just start having fits. But at least take 30 minutes to take, and of course, I put in there, take some closet time, prayer time, maybe even physically clean out a section of your closet. Actually go in the closet for 30 minutes. The Bible talks about prayer as getting away and having time getting to your prayer closet. These are great ideas, and I think all of us need to do that just to relax a while. Everybody's so uptight.
I got a question for you, Kev.
Yeah.
Because I've heard you say it a couple times. But do you think, like, based on polls that you've seen of, like, what percentage of Americans are Christians, do you think that that number is actually lower than what it says?
Well, if they're going to take this survey and say that they're Christians, in those surveys, I think they are. But I think there's a lot that will say, yes, I'm Christian because I'm an American. Right? Is that what you're getting at? Like, these surveys
Well, I just
where
think
people aren't
it
really...
just seems like that you sometimes talk about, like, sort of Christians as, like, this sort of, like, this subgroup minority. And I don't think you say that, but it just seems the way you speak sometimes, it seems like that's... But to me, I don't think that we're a minority. I mean, it seems like we're still, like, 80% of this country. I mean, even if somebody
it's
falls
just
short.
Traditional. Right, exactly. No, I don't think we're a minority in that way, but I do say there are different sets of Christians. And so, like, there's the evangelical, fundamental, Protestants. There's a whole group of the Catholics, which are very strong, and then there's the other different ones that wouldn't fall in line with evangelical Protestant. So, there's different kinds too. I think the surveys I saw were those that claim to be evangelical, go to church every Sunday, they wanted those kind of Christians. So yeah, Christians in general are hopefully still a majority in America, but because I still believe it's a Christian nation.
I think it's like somewhat like 80% or something like that.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Well, let's go anti-Christian. Ready?
Okay.
The greedy group of the day. The greedy group of the day have their own song because to them, it's not about anything else, not ethics, anything. It's all about... It's all about... All they care about is... The greedy group of the day. All right, you ready?
Yes.
All right, we've been picking on the Muslim countries. I say Congress is the greedy group of the day. I got upset. I don't know, this is probably really stupid today. I don't know.
Okay.
But the U.S. government, back to Obama, we're
Uh-huh.
talking in 2016,
Okay.
2015, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Puerto Rico, which is an American territory.
Uh-huh.
If we're going to call it one of our groups, why shouldn't we help? They are $720 million in debt.
Yeah.
Not a lot of money for our country. 720 in debt. They are people are not getting their retirement, their Social Security, their whatever tax rebates. Those who file taxes not getting their tax rebates. In the whole year of 2015 to 2016, not getting any of that. 135 public schools closed in that year in Puerto Rico. Congress still, Obama put out a proposal to send them assistance to help them with this debt. Congress still has not passed the assistance set forth by President Obama. Trump doesn't seem to be taking up the cause. I don't know.
Well, who's heard? I mean, no, I don't think that's ever even really discussed. I mean, I've heard about Puerto Rico's debt, but
Okay, but so
Yeah.
here I'm saying we're sending billions
yeah.
to countries that are not U.S. countries,
Right,
territories.
right.
This is one of our people. These
Yeah,
are
that
our
makes
people.
sense.
Let's help Puerto Rico, and I think it's greedy for us not to make sure that happens right away.
Yeah, that makes sense. You know, in Branson, Kevin, because there's been a it's a little bit harder to get H-1B1 visas. It's like the working visa for and a lot of Branson businesses rely on those folks like from Jamaica and different countries. So we actually had our new alderman Kevin McConnell actually went down to Puerto Rico to recruit some business people, workers.
Yeah.
So that actually, you know, we need them when we need them, but I guess we don't need them. You know what I'm saying? It's like you take
Yeah.
it for granted type of thing.
Well, when
So-
I saw the schools all closing, there goes the education. Then these people on retirement, not to getting their benefits.
it seems to me they need to either we need to let them free or we need to let it become a state, because it seems like this weird quasi in the middle thing.
Right,
is,
right.
You know.
Step up, do something.
Yeah.
And $720 million was a lot for us, but for our government, when they're putting billions over to all these other countries that are, especially that Iran deal. I don't know if you like that deal, but I don't know if we've ever discussed this, but all giving them
I like
money.
Iran not having nuclear weapons.
Yeah,
but-
exactly. They don't have, but they're still going to do it. And but anyway, I think giving all these other people this money when these are supposed to be, this is our territory. These
Yeah.
are our people. We love the Puerto Rican people. I do. I grew up with my best friend in life, Chico. You met Chico? Did you
Yeah.
meet Chico in
I think
Orlando?
so.
Yeah, his real name is Pastor John Diaz. We've called him Chico since we were young. But
Hey, Kev, speaking of, did you
Anyway.
see the attacks in Iran yesterday?
I did not.
There were actually,
some news
it's
yesterday.
very rare, but there were actually terrorist attacks in Iran, and it was crazy. They actually hijacked the parliament, the Iranian parliament in Tehran.
Whoa.
It was like it looked like the windows were blowing out on each story. It was crazy, and so this is going to change some things because now it's hitting a little closer to home. It was ISIS who did it.
Yeah.
See, ISIS. I'm going to probably get this wrong, but one of them is Shia and one of them is Sunni. So I think the Iranians are Sunni.
So it's an inner conflict with the different sects of Muslims.
Yes, yes. So
Wow.
yeah, it's really and then the Saudis, they're what ISIS is. Not saying that they're
But they're
the
ISIS,
same.
Sect.
Yeah, but they're saying Hamas is what Iran is. So Hamas now might attack ISIS. So it's a whole. Which honestly, that's bad. I think they need to fight each other because the idea.
Well,
of,
yeah, I mean, it's
reform
stupid to
and-
have war at all, but
Yeah.
if they're going to not bring it over to us, I mean,
Yeah.
obviously we're the infidels, we're not going to change anyway, but between them, get it figured out.
Yeah,
If you
yeah.
guys don't understand what's happening with all the different sects or what that's about, we do offer a book and we'll send it to you free. Just help us with a couple dollars for the shipping. We'll send you the book, The Soldiers of Allah. This explains of the basis for Islamic religion and all the different sects. He breaks down all the different beliefs of the different sects, what Sharia law really is all about, and how the Quran is to be interpreted, because it's interpreted different from the different sects. You know, the different
Yeah.
Muslim denominations, in other words.
Yeah. I think the main difference that I've heard is that from Shia and Sunni, they wanted a different person to take over after Muhammad passed away.
So they broke up.
That was the
Yeah.
that was the main difference. Was one of
Yeah.
them believed this Shah or this whatever.
You know,
they
if you
call
look
him.
at Protestant history in America, you know, the different denominations broke off for different reasons and fighting about, they would fight over different things, or then they believe different things. Well, I could give examples. I don't want to insult anybody, and there's no judgment. But as long as they're keeping the cause of Christ. But the thing is, so they broke off, and they had little skirmishes of disagreements. These guys,
Yeah.
they get disagreement, they're
Yeah.
killing each other.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so this is just a whole, that showed you that's not of God, you know, because there can be divisions, there can be differences in what we believe. I believe that they can coexist, though. A Pentecostal or a Baptist or Lutheran church can be all in the same block. People say, well, you know, there's just different kinds. But no, they're all talking about Jesus. It's just like you have Wendy's, McDonald's, and Burger King. They're different variations, but they're all selling burgers. And so that's how I see that. And so I'm not against the denominations. I don't think we'll have them when we go to heaven. But that's because we'll be perfect there. and we'll know everything then.
That's
We
right.
don't know everything. We only see things in part, according to the Bible. Well, let's go to history. We're running out of time, and I want to
Let's
make
do
sure
it.
I get my devotional. I got a good one for today. And did Phyllis ever join us on the thing? Because I wanted to make a shout out to Phyllis. Phyllis, I got a
She
card
might
from
be.
her
She
today.
didn't comment.
She hasn't commented. Well, Phyllis, if you're there, let us know. Otherwise, I'll save this for tomorrow. But we have my favorite. I think people enjoy this. I think. I
Oh, yeah, I think so.
haven't heard any comments, yay or nay. So obviously, it must be all good. But it doesn't matter if you don't like it. You can just tune off for a while because I love it. Here is our historical moment with Marshall Howard.
Got a whole lot of history. We could be the greatest team that the world has ever seen. You and me got a whole lot of history.
We got a whole lot of history, and our
Whole lot of
20th
history.
president is James Garfield.
Garfield. That's right.
Not the cat.
Not the cat. This one doesn't eat
Not
lasagna.
the restaurant.
No, not the restaurant. My brother.
Your brother works here.
Yes. James Garfield, 20th president.
Yes.
Ohio.
Yes. Another
18
Ohio. Huh?
Another Ohio. In fact, this is interesting. 6 of the 11 presidents from Grant to Harding were from Ohio.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I've not been to one. Oh, I take that back. I have been to one. Library, and the tomb is right there next to it in Canton, Ohio.
Yeah.
William McKinley.
Wow, that's cool.
I saw the shirt he was wearing when he was shot in the stomach.
Wow.
But anyway, and his library and everything's there. His, his office.
so,
where it was. But Garfield, let
yep.
me ask you a question while I'm
Okay,
thinking of it,
okay.
because then I forget. And then
Okay.
not Republican?
Republican.
Republican. So Rutherford B. Hayes says, I'm done.
Yes.
Was that our last president? 19? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hayes. Wow, I'm getting.
Didn't
Hayes-
didn't want to run again.
Didn't run the second term.
Grant ran
Garfield-
again though.
Against Garfield?
Yeah, as a Republican
Ooh,
nominee.
But
And
Republican
so-
Party went behind Garfield.
Yeah, went for Garfield. So
Makes sense.
Vice President was Chester A. Arthur.
The crooked New York
The
Port
cr-
Authority.
That's right. That's right. 18. This is kind of sad, Yeah.
Well,
18
whether he was guilty or not, we don't know.
Well,
He was kicked out for
Well,
being guilty.
okay. Well, that's-
Right?
Sounds like
We don't know.
what's going on today.
Oh, will you stop?
But,
People are innocent until proven guilty. Go ahead.
Sort
Oh, he
of.
was proved guilty. Forget it. Never mind.
okay. So, but
Maybe he was.
sort of. But I'll say that in a second. But
Save
so,
it for
but
tomorrow.
to be president after the Civil War,
Yeah.
you needed 3 things:
Yeah.
to be a Republican,
Yes.
to have fought in the Civil War, and to have a beard. Garfield
That was
had
it.
all 3 of those.
He had it
things.
all.
Yes,
He
so-
fought in the Civil War, huh?
He did. He was a general. They called
general
They
even.
called him more of a political general.
Okay.
So, in other words, he was a sort of a diplomat, so to speak. It wasn't much of. It wasn't actually like a military commander type of
So
thing.
he probably worked with and knew Abraham Lincoln.
but I believe so. Yeah.
Wow.
So you'll love this. He was the only president we've ever had who was a minister.
Really?
Yeah, and so he wasn't actually like ordained or anything, but he
flavor?
Disciples of Christ.
Ah.
So he had done some preaching. He had went to some seminary school.
Funny because today disciples of Christ
Uh-huh.
are mostly African Americans.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, go ahead.
James Garfield. Interesting. So he became a college president before he was 30 years old. They say he was one of the most brilliant men to ever be president, just a genius. And a huge baseball fan. In fact, he would watch professional Major League Baseball games on the Mall of Washington, D.C. They used to play on the mall.
Wow.
Yeah. and so-
Recently created, obviously, I think it was the late 1800s when Abner Doubleday.
Doubleday, yeah. Yeah, and he was, I'm not sure about late 1800s. I knew he was always associated with the Civil War. I'm not sure if he was a soldier. I think he was, though. Abner Doubleday was, I think, a soldier.
Wow.
So it was a Civil War game.
So this was like a new fad, really, kind of
Yeah.
just really growing
yeah.
American baseball.
Absolutely. So,
So he went to games.
he was an
Cool.
abolitionist in spirit. He,
What does that mean?
meaning that he never necessarily advocated it in policy or called himself
Never
an
made any
abolitionist.
laws for,
But
yeah.
he certainly believed through his faith
Sure.
and through
For
a
sure.
review of the law that all men were equal, and so like I said, he was a political general in the Civil War. He was at both battles of Shiloh and Chickamauga.
Ooh,
when-
Chickamauga.
in Chickamauga. And when General Rosecrans ordered retreat at Chickamauga, Garfield rode ahead anyway to deliver a military special message literally through Confederate fire while already having been elected to the House of Representatives. So he already had been made. He didn't have to do this, but he was courageous and he
Good man.
Yeah, good man. So, Lincoln was solely focused on preserving the Union.
Right.
Garfield believed that Lincoln was a little too slow as far as making it about emancipation, because the Republicans at this time, there were a lot of different factions within the Republican Party. Some of them were just Lincoln Republicans who were very strong Unionists. Some were the liberal or the radical Republicans who were very, very strong against slavery. And then some were what's called the stalwarts, and this is where we're going to get into basically what happened with with Arthur. The stalwarts was Chester Arthur, also Senator Conkling, who was kind of the boss of New York, and so that's what happened. Basically, Arthur did do not exactly what he was supposed to do in the Port Authority,
Well, obviously, yeah.
and so he got kicked out of there. And so you wonder, well, how did he become vice president then? And because we had talked about it with Hayes. Hayes began civil service reform, but one of the major things he did was just fire some people. So Hayes actually did fire Arthur, but he didn't necessarily institute the reforms that was going to take. Garfield went a lot further in actually instituting the actual civil service reforms. But this is very interesting. Remember how we talked about Hayes and Tilden were in such a very close recount election? Garfield was actually on that special election commission who gave those electoral votes to Hayes. They're very fascinating. So we get to the election of 1880, the convention, and it took 36 ballots to select a Republican nominee. Garfield actually wanted John Sherman to be his vice president. So Garfield didn't even pick Arthur. This was when Grant was there as well. But they kind of came to
This
a
is not the Sherman that rode down to Atlanta.
No, that was a different Sherman, but he was also a Civil War guy, I believe. But the compromise candidate essentially was Arthur, and I think it was just because of the stalwarts in New York did have some power, and they really wanted him.
Okay.
And that'll come back to kind of bite Garfield.
Probably.
So
Arthur being, if he was crooked, maybe it had something to do with his assassination.
well, not exactly, but
This
sort of.
almost sounds like, they blamed Roosevelt, with McKinley.
Uh-huh.
They blamed Lyndon Johnson with JFK.
Right.
It's interesting.
Well,
that they picked the vice president that would do him in. But that's conspiracy theories that I don't believe, but go ahead.
right. So basically, it kind of does go into it, though, because so these stalwarts, like I said, there were this whole group within the Republican Party, and another man named Charles Guiteau was a member of the stalwarts. Now, Guiteau, see, back then, the White House was open. You could literally walk into the White House, talk to the
hang out,
president,
yeah.
and people who wanted position. So, since Garfield had committed this act of civil service reform, there were a lot of people who said, "Oh, well, I could be a great whatever commissioner of this, so I'm going to go and talk to the president personally and almost have a job interview with the president."
Yeah.
So Guiteau was one of those men. He was hanging around the convention a lot. He was a stalwart. He really believed in Conkling. And Guiteau, so the idea about, well, did Guiteau and Arthur collude or anything. There's only one. They say that there's only evidence of them meeting even like one time, shaking hands one time. So it doesn't seem like Arthur. And actually, we'll talk about it when we get to Arthur. But Arthur didn't do horrible things as president. He wasn't maybe the greatest president, but he wasn't as
Right.
corrupt. I think he
And
just
Guiteau was kind of not all there.
like a crazy guy.
Yeah,
really.
he wasn't all there. So.
And so he he talked to Garfield. He wanted a position. Garfield didn't name him to any of these posts, and so he was upset. And so he tracked Garfield to the Baltimore and Potomac Railroad Station and shot him twice there.
in the
And-
back.
Yeah, in the back. And Garfield didn't die immediately. In fact, the nation followed his progress of whether he was going to make it, like by telegraph.
Yeah.
The whole time. The
Oh,
nation was
sure.
just enthralled by what was happening. In fact, there were a couple moments where it seemed like he was going to make it.
Today he probably would have.
He would have probably made it. In fact, they say that it could have been his doctors and just poor medicine that really kind of did him in.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he only got a few months in office, really, not even a whole year. But he did end up going through on reforming of civil service, and that was really important because
Yeah.
that's been one of the
Just
things
think what he could have done if he'd have lived too, because he
Yeah,
seemed
he
like he
probably
would have
been
been
one
a
of the
good
good
man.
ones. Yeah. Brilliant man of faith, and
How many
so-
days after he was shot then that he died, or was it just a few days, or was
80
it weeks?
days.
80 days.
Yeah.
So, wow. Yeah. So over.
So he was only in
2
office
months.
from March to September.
Yeah.
Too.
Oh.
So yeah, not very long at all.
So then Arthur gets it automatically.
Yes.
So now he's
Arthur's
president.
vice president. Now he's president.
And but he not only fulfilled that rest of the term of Garfield, he was elected again, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll know tomorrow.
Yeah.
On Friday, we'll end with Chester Allen
Oh,
Arthur,
yeah.
with the big sideburns and
Sideburns, yes.
the big sideburns are coming in. Thank you for that historical
No
moment.
problem.
God bless America. We pray for America and the peace of Jerusalem, and bless all of our leaders, and be with all those right now who are testifying, and all those who are trying to figure out, and let true justice reign in all situations, God. I know you're on the side of justice, God, so we trust you and bless you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Yep.
Matter of fact, we pledge allegiance not only to our flag,
Yes.
but to the cross. You want to read it one more time?
Sure,
Are you ready? Can
sure.
you read it? I'll stand up just a little bit, so you don't have to just,
Okay.
Yeah,
it was kinda- all right.
Oh, but I can't because of
To
the
the cross
microphone.
of Christ Jesus, my allegiance I pledge, bought by the blood of God's Lamb that was shed, and to the kingdom of God in which I belong, by faith with believers to freely stand strong. I pledge allegiance to the cross, my hand across my heart, and sing the anthem of my soul. My God, how great thou
How
art.
great thou art.
1 Corinthians 1:18.
How great thou art. How great thou art. See, that's for those who say I don't sing on the show.
Why does it say that? Because is
What's
that
that?
poem in 1 Corinthians 1:18, or is it
No,
a version
118
of that?
actually says, the things of the cross confuses those who don't understand, who don't know the power of God through the
Interesting.
cross. But it's just a pledge of allegiance to the cross, and of course that 1 Corinthians 1:18 says, it explains
about
that
similar
that,
things.
yeah, if you accept Christ and accept what He did at the cross for your life, that He will change you. You'll understand the true power of God. But to those who don't know Jesus, they won't understand. They can't understand the power of the cross. So the power of the cross and the power of His presence is what we need. Do you want to be in His presence? Do you want to know? Do you want to really know God? Do you want to understand God? Do you want to? Because I find out the more I hang around, say, my friends, my family, my wife, the more I understand them more. I understand what they're going through. When we first got married, my wife and I, she's different. She has this personality that's like, they say melancholy. Mine is a sanguine. I love a party. I love people around me all the time. I love, the lights are on, that whole thing. She likes the lights down low. She likes to read a book. She likes to be alone. Birthday parties to her scares her. One time she almost left me just because I had 30 people in the house waiting to surprise her. And, but that's,
freaks out.
but the more I know her, the more I hang around her, I understand that. She understands my sanguineness. I understand her melancholiness. And so we merge it. So we have times of just aloneness. We have times with, and we understand one another. And it's the same with God. You want to be more like God. You want to understand the one who created you, then spend time. And there was a little boy that understood this as a boy. Samuel ministered to the Lord before the priest Eli. He knew even more than the older his own elder and the one that was training him in the temple, Eli. And the word of the Lord was rare in those days. There was no widespread revelation. People were no longer concerned about being in his presence. We're finding that more and more around the world today and in America. And we need his presence now more than ever. But it says that Samuel wanted to be near the Ark of the Covenant, which is the presence of God. Today, we don't have an ark, a physical thing we have to go to understand his presence. We can call on him. We can be near him by worshiping him, by serving him, by listening to him. When we just not only talk and communicate in prayer, but we listen. So how do you want to be near him? How do you want to hear God? Be near God? Then worship him, serve him, listen to him. This is what Samuel did. And if you know the story right, Samuel's laying in bed and he hears a voice that says, Sam calls him by name, and he says, here am I, you called for me. He ran to Eli. He said, did you call for me, Eli? He says, no, I didn't. Go back to bed. Goes back to bed and it says, Samuel. Here's the voice again. And he goes back, Eli. He says, somebody called me. He says, no, go lay down. And this time the Lord came to him a third time and said, Samuel, Samuel. And he says, speak. Your servant is listening, God. And so we need to listen to him. We need to talk to him, but we need to listen to him, serve him, worship him. This is how you're near. You want to be near enough to hear him? Be like Samuel that says, speak, Lord. I'm listening. I want to be close. And he wanted to be close to his presence. Where Eli was busy with the traditions of the church, he'd forgotten the worship of him. It said there was no more, the word of the Lord was rare in those days. They weren't listening to God. They weren't talking to him. They weren't worshiping him. They weren't serving him. They were just going through the motions of religion. And you can get to, and I've been to the countries where great religion was there, all over Europe. And I've seen the great cathedrals, but it's all become just such a robotic liturgy now that it's something they go through and they feel like they've done their duty for God, but they're not listening to God. They're not really worshiping from their heart. And we bring that into America today. When we just have words on a wall or a screen that we just repeat the words, but we're not doing it from our heart. I'm all for the words being up there, whether they're up there in a hymn book, and it can be the same. You can either be reading them and not really worshiping, or reading them on a wall, but let us worship, let us serve him, let us listen to him, let us have that heart of a little child. Jesus said, those that come to me, the kingdom is built of the children of God. And he wants the children to come to him. That's us. Let us be like a little child that has enough faith, even if nobody else is doing it. Even those that look religious are doing their thing. We need to be that says, we want to hear God and we want to be close to him. When I was rereading 1 Samuel chapter 3, and Samuel became a great prophet of the Lord through his whole life. His whole life. One thing that Samuel told one of the, I don't know, maybe that was the prophet Nathan. It might not have been Samuel. Maybe it was Samuel. I'll have to look it up. But one of the prophets said, don't let even one word fall from my mouth that means nothing. King James says in a different way. But I don't even want the things that come out of my mouth to be just nothing. I want everything to be pleasing to God. I want to be worship to God, and so that he hears me, and that my ears are open to hear him, that I'm busy serving him instead of myself, or just doing all the things that just are religious duties. And Samuel said, speak, for your servant hears. And the Lord said to Samuel, I'll do something in Israel at which both ears of everyone hear it. Their ears will tingle. In that day I will perform against the religious of this house from beginning to end. For I will judge this house for the iniquity which he knows, because his sons made themselves vile. This is Eli, and his sons were doing weird, terrible things in the temple. And Eli did not restrain them. Therefore I have sworn to the house of Eli and to the iniquity of Eli's house, they shall not be atoned for the sacrifice. And Samuel lay down into the morning and opened the doors of the house of the Lord next to the Ark of the Covenant. And Eli called to Samuel, and he says, here I am. He said, what did the Lord speak to you? And then he began to tell him all those things. And the word of the Lord then became, a revelation became, and it changed everything in that temple. And Samuel became the priest of that place, or the prophet that would speak into David's life eventually. And so, good old Samuel. Samuel anointed the first king over Israel, which was Saul. And he was used by God because he would be near God. Let's be near him. There's a prayer that's in a song that says, draw me nearer, nearer, blessed Lord, to the place where you have called. Draw me nearer, nearer, blessed Lord, to thy precious bleeding side. And so I want to draw near to him and near to the cross. That's why we pledge allegiance to the cross. We mentioned this shirt today, not only because I think it's one of the great shirts, but I think you should have it as a witness wear, an allegiance to the cross. We have them in every size. We can send to you free shipping. And our shirts are $20 or 2 for $30, but on the week that it's the t-shirt of the week, which this one is, it's only $15. We got $5 off, and it can be sent to you. But let's pray. God, I just pray that we'll draw near to you every day, and then everybody in the sound of my voice will know you in a real way. Not just know about you, not just do religious duties to try to please you, but to actually know you in your presence. We can be in your presence. For in your presence is fullness of joy, and at your right hand there are pleasures forevermore. May we know and understand your presence and draw near to you and escape the corruption of this world, you said, by knowing you in a real way. And so may we be in your presence today and every day in Jesus' name. Amen. Draw near to his presence today. I promise you it's better than doing it your way. We have things to help you give and to help us stay on television, and I saved the commercial for last before we go. We'll be back on tomorrow with one more AM Kevin for the week. But this weekend we're going to be in Springfield. Come on out, 10:30 a.m. at Glad Tidings Assembly. We are going to be Sunday morning at Glad Tidings Assembly in Springfield, Missouri with the whole team. Plus, special guest Caleb and Harmony are coming out. Yeah, with their new CD, and they're going to sing a couple songs. I'm going to sing some songs and then minister the word and pray for the sick. There'll be folks that will be healed and touched, and Pastor James McIntosh is excited about it. He says, I can't wait to see what God's going to do for our church on Sunday. Talked with him just yesterday. So be with us there at 10:30 on Sunday if you're a partner. Did Phyllis ever?
No, I don't think
she's gone today. Well, I'll save what she said for tomorrow, but we want you to become a monthly partner if you can at $34 a month. We'd really appreciate it. As Popeye used to say.
Appreciate it.
We appreciate olive oil. And so you've got, we'll pick a CD just for you to bless you with from some of the guests that have been on our shows in the past. Plus, we are going to give you this brand new print made especially for us. Tina Richards, one of our vendors from the Branson Mill, has put together this wonderful painting that she did. She paints these turkey feathers, but this one I think was especially special. It's called We Remember. And this is in time so that you can have it up in the summertime as we remember the 4th of July and Flag Day is coming up. So the flag's on there, the American Eagle, 2 soldiers, and the Twin Towers. It's called We Remember. And we're sending you that just to say thank you, along with a CD that we picked from some of our guests. And give that to your mom, I guess. No, she cheated, didn't she? No, but she didn't know, so have it. She can have it. Anyway, and so this is We Remember. This is for our family of friends, partners at $34 a month. Many different ways to give. Go to kevinshorey.com. You'll see everything there. Go to our store there at kevinshorey.com. You can call us at 844-47-KEVIN and love to help you. And as you give, different levels, even at our... I think this is $80 or $75 level. This is the Body Aid combo. I love that. This really keeps your immune system built up. You need that. They're fighting all kinds of things. And I'm not so sure. I have to do more research, but I'm not so sure like flu shots are that great for you. And I know that antibiotics and all kinds of things have good side effects, but a lot of bad side effects. You see all the commercials on TV. May cause this, try this, but it may cause this, even death. Anyway, these are all natural products. Valerie Saxon has brought our way. She's due to come back. I got to call her today. But Body Aid Combo builds up your immune system. It has all the different things that you need to keep your body strong, as well as we're putting this liquid collagen crush. This is like a vitamin C mega drink, whatever. So that's a 8-1. That's a 1? That's a 1. Okay. We got 1 minute left. And so Body Aid Combo is one way you can give. Also, protect your face. Protect your face. Will you protect your face today? This has 2 little devices in it that you put on your back of your cell phone. You can hide it underneath your cover, or you can put it right on the back because it doesn't look ugly on your back. You've got one right there. And it dispels the electromagnetic field, and it reduces the heat that's built up by using your cell phone and pushing it against your face. We've showed pictures before. So yes. The scientific proof, Germany, Israel, and the Jasper Clinic in America have all approved this. They call it the Kids Armor. And this is just... just to help you can produce the heat and those radiation from your cell phone. Try that. And so there's many different ways you can find it, all different, from music to health elements and things, from the silver. It's all there. All things that I've picked, and we put together to bless you, to say thank you for giving at whatever level. We appreciate you helping us. We'll see you again tomorrow on a sunshiny day with the new AM Kevin and Marshall Houghton.